Yeah, anyway, I'm like racing to get back, and then I got your text on the way. I'm like, yes, I'm coming, yeah.
Oh, wait. Are we recording, Karen?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
we're
are.
already on.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erin, and this is Amy.
Hello.
And we are the Fowler Lux team at Remax Go in New Braunfels, Texas. And we love helping our clients. We love people.
Yeah.
And we really love to help people find their dream home, whether it be first-time home buyers, people that maybe people that have been out of practice for a long time in buying a home, haven't bought a home, are scared to buy a home, and we want to talk about that a little bit today. We have brought our dear friend Todd Revis, who is on staff here at our office. We think he's the resident expert on buyers, first-time home buyers,
Yeah.
and has
Thank
been in the
you.
business a long time. And we want to pick his brain today and see what he thinks. Basically, what are the challenges of folks today? What are they afraid of? What's going on with them? And we want to know what you think,
Yeah.
Todd.
Well, thank you, and I'm happy to be here. I love, they say, I saw this on Facebook a while back, like, if you could talk about anything for 30 minutes without studying, what would it be? And my first thought is always first-time buyers or just new buyers. First-time buyers tends to be like this quotation mark of people come up with, oh, I'm a first-time buyer, so what kind of discount do I get? And it's not so much about that. It's just about, I love finding people who don't know what they're doing and are afraid of the process,
Right.
and then going, oh, no, it's not as bad as you think. With me as a guide, we're going to go through this process, and it's
And they're so thankful for your help and eager to learn, but a lot of times they're very anxious and afraid to even get started.
Yes. I got a call yesterday. It's perfect timing for this conversation because I was sitting at home in the evening and I got a call. I put it on speaker for some reason, and I muted the TV, and I was like, "Hi, this is Todd," and this young lady. She's probably in her early 20s, maybe mid 20s, and she had this like shake to her voice, like she was nervous, and she was calling off of one of my listings, and she was walking her 14-month-old in the neighborhood and saw my sign, called me. She really just wanted to know how much her house is in this area, just curious because she'd like to someday buy a house. Great credit. We had a great conversation, and it was like I just became like her uncle in that moment because she's got her master's degree, she's got this baby she's supporting, she's about to become a counselor. Like she's going to take her test to become a certified counselor. So she's just a good person. And Nancy walked by a couple of times. My wife Nancy walked by a couple of times. She's like, she sounds so nervous. And I was like,
Because they
"No."
are.
They are
She
nervous.
was nervous, right? There was like a
I
shake.
was nervous when I bought my first house. I didn't know anything.
There was a shake to
You
her
don't.
voice, and all I did was say, you know what, you're not ready now because of what's going on in your life, and you're about to get this new job and all that. So I set a calendar reminder on my phone. I'm gonna call you in 30 days, and find out if you scheduled your test and cheer you on, and we're gonna pray for you in the meantime and hope that it was just like. And I told her to look up Nancy on Facebook because she's really funny, and it was just like this bonding thing. And I think that's
You
what you
probably
need.
made her feel very comfortable.
I hope so. Yeah,
did.
like,
I'm sure
oh,
you
you know
did.
what? This guy really wants me to be successful, and he's going to help me when I'm ready.
Right.
And I didn't just push her off like, get away, come back when you're ready.
You're not ready.
And first thing you said was, y'all like people, and
Yeah.
I know that's who y'all are.
Yeah.
So you're realtors that happen to really like people. And so you don't turn people away because, like,
No.
oh, you can't make me money right now.
No.
You're a big dollar sign to me. Get away. You guys really
Absolutely
genuinely
not.
have a heart for people because you both have kids in their 20s.
We have
Don't you?
helped people for almost 2 years to try to get qualified and get them a house, and it's very rewarding, and we just want people to know not to be afraid to come and ask. And,
Yes.
and
It doesn't mean you're
that's
going to buy
what
something
we're here
tomorrow.
Right. It's not going to happen right away. But
No. Sometimes it does, but a lot of times it doesn't.
But yeah, the sooner you have a conversation with somebody like you guys and start your journey, the sooner you're going to finish that journey, right? If you wait a year to start working on, if you plant a garden this year, you're going to benefit from it in 6
Right.
months to next year. If you planted it last summer, you're already
You
growing
got it, yeah.
stuff, right? So, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today.
That's
So
right.
the sooner you have a conversation about what's one or two, treat it like a video game and just what's level one. Level one is do your budget, figure out where your money's going, how much money you got left over, how much you can spend on a mortgage payment every month. Level 2 is, contact some kind of credit advocate if we need to get your credit score up a little bit. Level 3, and I think kids these days understand that terminology of like, let's make this a video game, and winning the game is closing on our house and getting our keys.
That's true.
And so how do we go from where we are now to there?
So Erin and I have realized or noticed that a lot of people, they're afraid to even get the application started.
Yes.
Like the lenders will send it over to them.
Yeah.
And we'll check with the lender. No, they haven't done it yet. No, they haven't done it yet.
Too overwhelmed.
Too overwhelmed. They get scared to fill it out. I don't know. I mean, I've been there before, to where I'll just get to some important information, maybe my bank statement or my social.
Too much work.
Yeah, or I get just scared because it's just personal and just forget it. You know that. Have you ever witnessed that?
That's people do that in a lot of areas of life. Anything hard comes along, and I'm the same way. If I need to make a hard phone call, I'll put it off.
Oh yeah.
And so, gosh, I think every realtor goes through that.
Yeah.
With some clients. So maybe it's just a matter of that's one level, right?
It
and
is.
Maybe
It's the first.
It's the first level.
Get over that hump, and then everything seems to get a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Yes.
For the real estate agent, if you're here's a link, go fill this out, and then let's see what they see. Maybe what could help is to have a conversation with them, kind of pre-qualify them on the phone. I used to do that a lot when I was 15 years ago. We were mass sending a bunch of postcards for a new home event and to renters, and so they would call like, "Hey, I got this postcard in the mail. What is this all about?" And I would just start talking to them, and they would be maybe freaked out, like, "Well, I don't think I have good credit." Well, why do you say that? And you guys are good at this. Like, why do you think you don't have good credit? Because you know what it means to have good credit or not. You can pretty much talk to somebody and know. Well, 5 years ago I went to Vegas and I put $5,000 on a credit card and I never paid it off. And I'm like, yeah, but that was 5 years ago. So I ask certain questions. Do you have a car payment? Yes. Do you pay it on time? Oh yeah, every time. All right, cool. Do you have student loans? No. Do you have any credit cards? Yes. Do you pay them all the time, like
Just
on
try
time?
to make it seem not as bad as they
And
think
then they're
it
like,
is.
yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Your credit might be higher than you think.
Yeah.
And these days, people have it on their phones. Credit Karma,
That's true.
USAA, Randall Brooks. You can kind of just every day you can look and see where your credit score. Now that credit score is a little different than the mortgage score. That's
Which we just learned in that class.
So
Yes.
that's a consumer credit score, and it might say 700 when your mortgage score might be 650. But that's why we need to pull the credit and know. And so I think maybe just having a first conversation and setting that expectation that, hey, there's a step that I need you to do, and I'm going to do everything I can for you and help you in this race you're running. But what I need is we need knowledge. And so if you will do me this favor, fill this thing out. Just think of it like you're applying for a credit card or you're applying for a car loan or whatever. Just fill it out, get that information started. That way our partner in the mortgage side, whoever that is, can say, hey, they have this score, they have this income. I think there's some ways we can tweak that credit a little bit based on what I can see, because those guys, they know how to read those reports. And so maybe get them excited about, let's see that report. And good, bad, ugly. Have you ever worked with somebody they don't have good enough credit, so you're trying to get them maybe some credit advocacy?
Yes.
Like somebody with bad credit, right?
Yes.
So let's say, I say bad, let's say they have a 575 or a 560, and that's just under where we need it to be. So the idea is, look, we already know it's going to be bad. Depending on who it is, I'm going to get real personal. Like, we know your credit sucks. Like, it's okay. No one's going to be shocked when they come back and go, you can't buy a house, you're horrible. No, they're just going to say, look, he's not ready yet. So let's figure out an action plan to get him ready. Then I get to be like the guy holding the water when you're running the 5K, and because I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
But
we're almost there. We're almost there.
But like the garden metaphor, if we don't know where you are, we don't know where to get you. And so let's figure out where you are. And that's all this is a baseline. So we know where to go. We might be shocked and it's a little better than we thought, which is great.
Sometimes that does happen, and Erin and I've had it to where they're actually ready then, right then, and
but they have
a
a self-image of, I'm sure it's bad,
right,
yeah.
So you don't even do it. That's why I was saying, like the application, they won't even
You know what?
do
And
it.
I want to piggyback that too, because a lot of times they'll say, I don't have money for a down payment. And what do I need for a down payment? And I have this much saved up for a down payment. And we know that there are different programs,
Yeah.
correct, that you may not have to have that big of a
That's
down
right.
payment, or you may not have to have one at all. There's assistance.
Right. So yeah, I think setting the, like, telling them we need to get to the next conversation. We can't get to the next conversation without this. And I would say, tell them that I've worked with a lot of people that are hesitant to credit pull because they don't want to know
Oh, that's
what it
true.
says or whatever.
I know.
So that's normal.
Yeah.
Or
Like-
scared it's going to go down.
I-
Yeah, or
Yeah,
scared.
keep going
Yeah.
down.
I've personally been afraid for people to pull
Yeah.
my credit back when I
Me
was younger
too.
because I would be embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you can have a conversation with them that's more along the lines of, look, everybody I talk to feels like you do.
Okay.
Congratulations,
Right.
you're normal. I
Right,
love saying
right,
that.
right.
Congratulations, you're normal.
Right.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants people looking inside their stuff. That's your personal stuff.
Well, but that's also that person's business. They've looked at a million. They're not going to pinpoint
Yeah.
you and say, "Oh, your credit sucks."
You're right. They're professionals.
Yeah.
And the loan officer, the mortgage guy, makes money when they close a deal. So they want to
They
close
wanna
as many
get you
deals.
there.
Yeah, they want to get you there.
As fast as they can.
Right. And
too.
we know, I know you guys for a long time, and we know people that really they do have a heart for these people. They have a heart for people who are nervous. And so we're not going to send you to some guy that's going to, get out of my office, big
Right.
stuffy banker with a
Right.
three-piece suit, get out of my office.
Yeah.
No, we're going to send you to somebody who's like maybe your age or younger, or maybe
And that we've been working with
That we
for
know,
several
right.
years
Yeah.
that
Right.
we love and
we're going to have a
like
conversation with them
ourselves.
before. Like,
Yeah.
they're not going to be quite ready, but we need to know how not ready they are so we can develop a plan for them.
Right, exactly.
Because and one of the lines I use with my clients is, with people I'm talking to on the phone is, look, you seem like the kind of person that if I told you A, B, C, D and you're there, you would do A, B, C, D. They're like, yeah. They get excited.
They do get
like,
excited.
yes, I want to be told what to do so I can do it.
Right.
It's like going into like trying to lose weight or trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
Going to your personal trainer and they go, I'm gonna give you a list of things to do. If you do this, you're gonna hit your goal. If you don't do this, you're not. I can't do it for you. I can't do the sit-ups for you. I can't
And
do
then,
the
like you
push-ups.
said, next year they're going to be in the same spot they are right now because they never even started.
That's a really great way of putting it because so anybody who's listening to this, if they
Been there.
just dip your toe in the water and let's talk level one. Let's make this a game, and level one is let's just see where we are. Let's
Yeah.
get a baseline. And then we know how to go. And then know that you have two ladies who are going to be encouraging you, high-fiving you on that race. And we can't do it for you, but don't be afraid to call us.
Right.
I know a lot of people who have called these types of clients that have called me, and when I got to them, they said, yeah, I've filled out, I'd like, have you talked to a loan officer? Because if I'm just meeting him on the first time, have you talked to a lender? Have you done any kind of pre-qualification to see where you stand? And they're like, yeah, I filled out like 3 last year, and no one ever called me back. And it's because I suck. It's because they don't want to work with me. I'm like, oh, you're my favorite person because you're the one that I want to help. You're the stray dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're the rescue. And so let me help you. And that's the same spirit of you guys are both animal lovers, and you can't let this dog be out in the cold and put it in
Or
the grass.
first-time home buyers.
And
Don't
not
leave
that
them
we're
out in the
comparing you
cold.
to dogs,
Don't leave them out in the cold.
but yeah, totally. And so you mentioned earlier, Erin, about like challenges, and I was thinking about that. The one that made me think of it because that's one of the challenges is they don't want to try because they've been ignored.
Right.
No one, when you think, maybe when the general public thinks about a realtor, they think about the big long Cadillac and the, and driving people over to the $1 million houses on the hill
Right.
to show them. And
All
that
fancy.
that may be a perception that they have, but that's like saying every person that sells cars sells Rolls Royces. No, a lot of people sell, baseline commuters.
Our favorite clients are first-time home buyers.
For sure. For sure.
You brought up a second ago, like they're grateful that
Very
somebody
grateful.
finally didn't ignore them,
Right.
didn't big deal them, didn't be like, yeah, go,
No.
but took the time. And I'll tell you from a insider information, this isn't for the consumers necessarily, but those people will refer their friends and family to you because you showed them compassion and you showed them the effort. And that's
Just,
cool. I would love to just do nothing but that.
Yeah. For
Me
sure.
too.
Me too. Me too.
Because you're right, they're grateful.
And
One of the other challenges is myths. Like there's so many myths out there. Well, number one is that realtors only want to work with rich people that
Right.
whatever
Or
have
that
all
are
their-
ready right now.
Yeah. And number two would be somebody along the line said you have to do 20% down
Right.
and
Down
it takes
payment
6
thing.
months and blah,
Yeah,
blah,
like
blah.
Erin
Yeah.
said about the down payment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are down payment programs. The state of Texas has down payment programs. There are also ways to use. There are ways to negotiate that.
That's what I was going to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Like negotiate closing costs,
Concessions and
because
all
there's
kinds of
closing
stuff.
costs are like the taxes and insurance and prepaid stuff that you have to pay when you close on the house.
Right.
Those and also like the lender fees and the title fees and stuff, and it could work out to be anywhere from like say on a $300,000 house could be like $7,000 to $10,000,
Right.
$6,000 to $10,000.
But there's ways we can work it in the offer.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or
And
if
get
you're working
some
with
of
certain,
that for
they'll
them.
just pay it for you. Yeah,
Or
and then
that.
you don't. Yeah, they roll it in or whatever they have to do. And then if you're comparing a down payment assistance or you're combining a down payment assistance program and so the seller paying those other closing costs for you, guess what? You're like zero out of pocket.
That's right.
And we used to call that a true.
And it can happen.
Absolutely.
It does happen.
It does.
I helped my mother-in-law buy a house a few years ago, and she had to put earnest money is when you like it's kind of like a deposit. It's saying I earnestly want to buy this house. Take
Right.
my money and put it in an escrow account. And so she paid $500 earnest for this particular house, and at closing they gave her a $500 check.
Wow.
So it's a true zero out of pocket closing because she got a state program that gave her down payment assistance, 3.5%, and then they paid all her closing costs in the negotiation.
So she got some back.
She got her money back that she put on the down
And she got the
payment.
house.
And she got the house. So she was like zero out of
Yeah.
pocket.
Erin and I have similar stories like that too. One was my brother actually, and he just didn't think I knew what I was doing. This is when I first became a realtor, and he actually walked away with, I think it was $2,000 after it's all said and done. He was a veteran, and
That's
closing
awesome.
costs was
That is
built in. We built in too much, and
So
I
was he
forget exactly all the
grateful to
details.
you?
Yeah, he was supposed to take me to dinner, but he didn't.
You know how brothers are. That's
never
so funny.
took me.
Did he used to be a plumber, this
Yes.
brother?
He
Yes.
still is.
I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens, and you just have to know these things. And us realtors, we know these things, and you shouldn't be afraid to come and ask us. And
Yeah.
you
And
get
no
the-
question
get-
is a dumb question.
no question.
I think people are afraid to ask questions too because they think they sound dumb.
Yeah.
Because I've had people say that, oh, I don't want to ask this. Ask it.
So
Yeah.
we have to continue.
questions.
Yeah, I think the language that we use when we're either marketing on Facebook to try to find this consumer we're talking about, this first time nervous young person that's paying $1,800 a month or $2,000 a month in rent that could be buying and could be getting the American dream and starting their wealth, is to use language like that in your marketing. Use language like, I won't, what did I used to say? I'm not one of those realtors that drives old ladies around Canyon Lake in my Cadillac. I won't laugh at you. I've been there because
Right.
I've been there, right? And I think that's something maybe they need to hear is: have you ever had credit questionability in your own life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Probably a
When-
couple times.
I ran out on an apartment when I was in college.
So did I.
And when
Who
I went to
hasn't?
buy my first house with my husband, he said, excuse me, Erin.
When-
He said, what is this? I was like, oh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! When I met Nancy, she had bought a house as a single mom, using a down payment assistance program, and all that. Built it and had 2 kids, and I was like, man, she's cool. And I had like a 450 credit score, and she was like, oh no, let me have your bills. And she started, give me your paycheck, and she got me up until we bought a house together. So I got up to like a 650. And
The
at
truth
that
is,
time-
I think, is that most people have had or do have credit problems
nobody's perfect.
in their life. Most
Right.
people, not all people,
right.
obviously, but you just shouldn't be afraid to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Getting-
not a admission of failure, right? And it can always be fixed.
It can be.
It goes
fixed.
back to that what we were talking about earlier with the garden. But the sooner you start working on it, the better it is.
That's
And
right.
so, just accept that it's something you're going to have to do eventually. So quit putting it in the corner. and
Yeah.
let's just bring it out in the light
Yeah.
and see what it is. And it may not be as bad as you think. It gives us a plan to work on. And then you guys are really good at putting them in a system where you can check on them once every couple of weeks and just, hey, how's it going?
Right.
And that's where that's where you're handing the water on the marathon. Is
That's
you're,
it.
You're just checking in with them and
Keeping them on track.
encouraging them.
Yes.
Because I really think it is a passion for you guys.
Love it.
It's cool.
Love
Very
it.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's your show. I'm just
Have we hit all we want to hit for this time?
I
We don't
think-
want to go too long.
I think we have for now.
Yes.
So if you're a first time home buyer out there and you need help, get in contact with us. We're,
Thank
we're
you,
here
Todd.
and ready. And yes,
or tell
thank
your
you, Todd.
friends and family if you're watching this and you have a kid that is maybe in
Right.
that situation, you can trust them.
Yes.
They are going to grab them. They both. How many kids y'all have? You have two. You have three or whatever. 3, 5. You have
Three.
5 kids in
3 and
college
step,
or
and she's got a step. We have about 6 or 7
We have some
together.
stepchildren in there too.
yeah. They're all over the place. So yeah, there's 3 to 6 or 3 to 7 people, but they're all under the age of 30 or roughly.
Yes,
In
in their
that-
20s,
in
about
their
the
tw-
age,
yeah,
and have
about
put
the
us that
age
age.
of right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so, or maybe you have one of those kids in that demographic that doesn't have bad credit, but you don't want them to. And so you want them to kind of start talking about, hey, I'm going to graduate next year and I'm going to get that teaching job. And so
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier that you've been, there's somebody for 2 years, y'all loved on them
Yes.
for 2 years to get them to the finish line.
We have.
Let's start now instead of waiting until they make the bad mistakes. Let's just start now and you can give them advice and check in with them every 6 months and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, just send them our way.
Yes. Thank you, Todd.
my
Thank you.
pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
All right.
So, guys, if you liked this content, please hit like and subscribe.
Yes, and hit the notification bell so when we have another session, you'll be notified.
Yes.